The biggest mistake you can make with your running to train for a half marathon or marathon is this one thing. And that mistake is running at set speeds. Running at set speeds does not give a shit about how you feel, how tired you are, how much stress is going on in life, if you're dehydrated, if you're overhydrated. If you're simply not set up perfectly for that session, running at set paces and set times is going to be really, really hard for you to stay consistent with over a long period of time, because the more you train, the harder you train, naturally you're going to expose yourself to more stress, meaning you're not going to be able to recover as quick as you wish. And some days you are just naturally going to be sorer than others, which means your performance is going to drop, which means you're not going to be able to run at that pace effectively, or if you do run at that pace, you are going to be bullying yourself around that running session or that running time, right? Now, we've all been taught in the past of if you just work harder, it's going to be far better in terms of an outcome from a training, nutrition, and a body aspect. Reality is, the more stress on the body, the more we actually underperform, right? And if you're not a full-time athlete, then don't run at set paces and set times, because it's going to be harsh on your body, and the likelihood of you actually performing at the level you want frequently is going to be pretty hard. So there's a couple of other ways that you can really get maximum return for the effort that you're putting in within your training. And there's two aspects to this. Two real simple methods that are going to really benefit you for consistency, momentum, and actually building a long-term result with your running efforts to then PB in your half marathon, your marathon, or even a 10K race. Really looking to maximize your performance within your run work, whether it's a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, or just your general running ability. And you're looking to progress yourself down that route. The two methods you can work off of is either an RPE, basically how tough the session is, in simple terms, or from heart rate zones. Naturally, your longer run wants to be sat in zone 2/zone 3, and your higher intensity stuff, the speed work, the intervals, are naturally going to be set anywhere from around zone 3 to zone 4. So you're not going at max efforts constantly, because that amount of stress through your body from a train aspect really isn't needed unless you're going through a time trial effort just to test where overall pacing is. But from a training block aspect, peak at an event, then you actually don't want to be putting your body through crazy amounts of stress, because you want to be building the body, building the base and the overall ability effectively, which means small graduations across a 16 to 20 week block, which then is going to allow you to peak at the event, which means you're naturally going to PB that event if everything goes okay. How a effective training plan could look for your half marathon or your marathon PB attempt could literally look like 2 to 3 running sessions a week. Now, you want to pair that with strength sessions as well, but obviously the more running you do, the better you're going to get, the quicker you're going to improve. But you don't want to actually overdo the running, and I personally believe you don't need to be doing more than 3 sessions a week of running or even strength training, simply because you've either got a job or a business to run. You most probably want to socialize with friends and loved ones, and you've most probably got loads of other things on your plate that you need to deal with within the week. So you need to find a sweet spot within training. So your 2 runs that you could do a week, either base it off RPE or heart rate zone. If you're wanting to understand that more, then click the link below, and I have a free training on how to work out your heart rate zones that you need to sit in, as well as a free training guide from a strength aspect and a running aspect paired together so you can hit the sweet spot. Now, you can have 2 runs a week or 3 runs a week. Base these off RPE or heart rate zone. From there, the 2 runs could look like 1 tempo run, which is early on in the week on like a Tuesday, for example, and that could literally look like 4 times 600 meters with 120-second rest, and you can progress that as the weeks go by. Again, link in the description that you can literally go and view, which then will allow you to understand what I'm talking about within that aspect from a visual training aspect. And then you could go into a zone 2 run, which is the longer run. And that can build, let's just say randomly, you could do like 10 kilometers on a Saturday or a Sunday, and over the weeks you want to gradually increase that by 1 to 2 kilometers per week. Again, that is progression in itself, sitting either in an RPE of around a 5 to 6 out of 10 or zone 2 heart rate zone. And again, that's for you to work out, but link in the description to get hold of that to actually work out that for yourself. Or you could literally then have 3 running sessions a week. Now that could look like 1 tempo, 1 interval, and 1 long run zone 2. And how that could look would be, again, 6 times 400s with 120 second rest in between. Again, progress that over the weeks. Your interval stuff could literally like go find a hill, park up at the side of the road, and literally do 20-minute repeats up and down it. So you run up it for 30 seconds, walk down for 30 seconds, run up for 30 seconds, and repeat that for 20 minutes, for example, right? Again, you're building speed in those 2 areas there and a little bit of endurance, and then you do your long run on the weekend, sat in zone 2. Again, that right there is then going to allow you to build distance and endurance, so therefore you hit the sweet spot of endurance and speed, meaning you're going to peak perfectly when it comes to your event, whether it's 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, or 20 weeks down the road. Now, depending what option you want to go for, the 2 or 3 sessions, what I'd naturally do would be paired up with strength training sessions, because they're going to be vital to be able to withstand the stress that you're going to be running at, and also it reduces the chance of injury. And thirdly, who doesn't want to look good whilst running as well? So what you could do is, if you're going to do 2 runs a week, you could do 2 to 3 strength sessions a week, and they will be 2 to 3 full bodies. Or you could do 3 runs a week, and again, you could do 2 to 3 full body strength sessions across the week. Again, progressively overloading in those strength sessions, allowing you to get strong, allowing you to look good whilst building speed and endurance from the run work. And that is how you're going to build out your perfect plan from a running and strength standpoint, so you can go PB your next event and avoid the big mistake of just trying to run at set paces. Because if you're trying to run at set paces, you are literally just going to batter yourself across the weeks. And when you come to running at set paces as well, naturally, where you're going to be under more stress, your body's going to be more fatigued, naturally you're going to be hungrier. And if you can't control yourself and you haven't got the behaviors aligned to manage your food effectively, or you've not actually got a process to manage your food effectively, you're most probably likely to overfeed than to underfeed, because you'll start to mismanage yourself around food. Then that causes a real problem, because there's inconsistency with fueling, inconsistency with food, which could cause you to be left sore, or also pick up injury, or even just mismanage yourself as a whole, which then impacts your energy, and it just ends up in a right mess. So when it comes to your running and your training, you want to be basing off of 2 aspects, either RPE or basing off heart rates, because they are more effective for the beginner and intermediate level, because running off paces, set paces, is very much athlete based, because they are literally dedicating their life to it, and their life is primed around their training and performance, where you are not priming your life around training and performance. You have other things to deal with, like I've just previously spoke about. So again, base it off RPE or base it off heart rate zones, and you can be far more effective within your run work, within your training. That's going to allow you to win the game with your body and performance and PB your next event. If you've enjoyed this, if you found this helpful, please press subscribe, please press a like. And if you know this can help someone, just pop it a share, and I massively appreciate it. Catch you in next week's episode.